शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषु भिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदि कवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजय आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। ॐ सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, chapter number 10, beginning from verse number 7. This is a description of meeting between sage Dadhichi and Indra along with the Devas, and later had approached Dadhichi to ask for his bones because that was informed or told to them by the Lord Vishnu himself that you can defeat Vitrasura only if they make a weapon from the bones of Dadhichi. So they went to him and they asked, and first Dadhichi, he was explaining that your request is very strange because everybody likes their own body and it is most painful to die. So nobody therefore likes to die voluntarily. And who would like to give one's body because there is desire to live in every living being. So that even if Vishnu comes to ask, who wants to give? So then they became a little depressed, thinking that he is not going to give. So they tried to reach to him. First they praised him. If you want something from somebody, inflate his or her ego, little nice words, kind, being generous. Nobody has been like this. Always helping others. And people like you don't exist in this world. This world will not function. And in your whole dynasty, everybody was kind and generous. Never speak like that. So that the person, even if he is stingy, they still give something. So they also spoke like this, that you are great and what is impossible for you, because you are very gracious and living beings and you have been glorified by even the great people. And only those people who do not understand the problem of a beggar refuse. And those who really understand that if someone has to come to beg, that person must be in big difficulty. Then how can a kind-hearted person not help such a person? So, this is what they were saying. So now, Yudhishthira speaks, Vishuruvacha. Dharmam vashotu kamena yuyam me pratyudanta esha priyamaatmanam tajantam santajaniham. So he said that, look, I spoke like this to you so that I could hear what is dharma, or the principle of religion. Because you started preaching to me, so I just wanted to hear that. And it is for that reason that I was trying to refute your words about giving my body. But just see, I am going to give up my body, which is very dear. Still I will give it up. So dharmam va shrotu kameneti sadharmo yusmat pratyutraneva shrutam. So he says, I wanted to hear dharma, which you spoke as a response to my words in only 2 verses. Yadva dhvanirayam vakroktyaya eva dharmo na shruta kintu vakchaturiyam shruta. Or the meaning is that there is one thing called vakrokti. Vakra means bent or crooked. So you make a statement which does not have straight meaning. It means that your statement does not have a straightforward meaning, but it has a bent meaning. So straightforward is what you say. Like if you meet somebody who has been criticizing you and you come to know about it, you meet him and you say, oh, thank you very much for praising me to others. So you understand what you mean and the other person also understands. Says, because you praised me, everybody is talking about me. So the meaning of your statement is not that you are thanking him for praising you, but you are saying that you are nonsense and why are you criticizing him. But sometimes you cannot speak directly like that, so you speak in an opposite way. What you want to say, you just say the opposite of that. If somebody is very miserly, you say, oh, you are very generous. So this is called vakrokti, or literally crooked statement. Or statement whose meaning is just the opposite of what you are saying. So he said that he's saying that I just wanted to hear what is dharma from you. What are the principles of religion, principles of polity, principles of etiquette, social life. And therefore I spoke like this. But Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur said that Dadichi Muni in a great sense, so he means something opposite. So he says, Basically, what I have heard from you is not dharma, but just your expert speech. Vak Chaturi, how clever you are in talking. But those people who are selfish, by nature, they are also very clever in talking. Otherwise, they cannot fulfill their desire. If you are not selfish, then you don't have to speak in a very clever way. You speak straightforward. So he said that it's not that you have spoken dharma, but it's just your clever words. Because that's what they were saying, that one who does not understand the suffering of a beggar will refuse, and one who has actually power to give, and he will never say no. Things like that. Otherwise, why would one go to beg? Begging is quite a demeaning or debasing activity. So, bhavatu tavat swaviprayam gyapayati atra. So then he says, okay, you have heard our clever statement, now what do you want to do? So then he said, don't worry, I'm going to give up my body for your sake. I would have done that, but I just was seeing how you speak. Atmanam deham tyajantam samyak tyajami sadeho yavan mam na tyajati tavanaham eva tam tyajami ismadhyam gadami itya tavat bhagyam mam bhavati. So he is making a very nice statement here. Esha vai priyam atmanam tyajantam santyajami. So he says that I am giving up this body which is giving me up. So why is he saying that the body which is giving me up? Because this body is always giving us up. Every moment we are approaching our death. And at the time of death we will be separated from the body. So now also continuously the body is giving us up. As soon as we are born, our death starts. Because life is like a journey towards death. And just like you make a journey to reach a destination, so your journey comes to an end. When you start from here, you are going back to your hometown. That's where you stop. So like that, death is the point at which we stop. And this body drops. So he says that this body is already giving me up, therefore I will give it up before it gives me. Because if it is going to give me up, I am not going to achieve anything from it. But if I give it up for good cause, then I made a good use of it. I am making use of it. If you are going to lose something, and that is for sure, so before it is lost, why not use it for good? So this is what he is saying. So death, as Krishna says, jatasya hi dhruvam mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya cha. That anyone who is born, the death is certain. As they were saying, it is as certain as death. Death is actually given as an example of certainty. Because everything else can fail except for death. So if it is so certain, then he says, I give up the body voluntarily and help you people. I am going to die. He has no interest in pleasures of material life. And because he has no such pleasures, and has no such interest, then what is the point if he lives a little longer? And if he can utilize the body, then it's good. Rather, by giving up this body, he is going to go to the Lord quicker. So it is beneficial for him. So in a way, what is happening is that Although on one side we see that Lord ordered Indra that you go and take the bones of Dadichi, and as if he is helping Indra, but actually his plan is that Dadichi should come to me quickly, and therefore you go and ask his bones to him. So Dadichi is devotee of the Lord, and Lord has arranged it so that he doesn't stay anymore here on earth and goes and be in personal association with the Lord. So this is his inner plan. So therefore he says, I will give it up, and this is my fortune. This is my bhagya. Iva dhruvena atmana natha na dharmane shakpuman iheta bhutadaya sasvachya sthavarairapi. So now he is speaking some principle. He says that this body is dhruva, this is temporary, and a person who does not use this body for the purpose of dharma, to good to others and get fame by performing some compassionate activity for others, then he says such a person is worse than even trees. He says such a person is lamentable, his life is lamentable, because his body is swasrigala bhaksha. Sometimes in Sanskrit they use the word swasrigala bhaksha, or food for dogs and jackals. If someone dies in forest by chance, then it will be eaten by jackals, dogs, or vultures. So it is the food for them. So why not use it? So the good use of body is therefore to utilize it for the sake of others, for the sake of God. Otherwise, he said that we are worse than trees, because trees are existing only for others. The trees, they give nice fruits, they don't eat it themselves. People cut them for wood, which is used for burning, for cooking, for heating houses, for making furniture. Now that is not for the tree. It's only for other things. They give shade. They are also creating oxygen for us to breathe, changing carbon dioxide, giving rain. So trees are doing so much welfare, and they sacrifice their whole life only for that. So as human beings, we should at least be a little bit like trees. But we are worse than them. We cut the trees for our own enjoyment. We utilize the trees, their fruits, their flowers, their wood, everything for our own sake. So he said that if I don't give up my body, then I am worse than the tree. He is not even calling animals, not even trees. Thavarayirapi. एतावानव्यो धर्म पुण्य श्लोकैरुपासितः यो भूतशोक हर्षाभ्याम आत्मा शोचति हृष्यति. So he said that this indeed is the dharma which has been described and followed by great personality. The great personalities have followed this type of dharma. So we read the story of King of Usinur, Shri Maharaj, Bali. So they sacrificed everything for others. Many stories in Mahabharata like that. And a story about a pigeon. And once one pigeon was there in a tree sitting, and one hunter was hunting birds, and then somehow he got lost in the forest, and he came and sat under the tree, and then suddenly there was a heavy storm, and when the rain stopped, it became very cold. So the hunter was feeling very hungry. So the pigeon thought that this hunter may be hunter, but now it has come under the tree where I live, so he is my guest. So I must help him. So he collected through some wood, and then he went to the nearby village and got some fire, and he made fire for him so that he can remove his cold. And then he thought he must be hungry, so he jumped into the fire so that the hunter can eat him. So the story is Mahabharata. So many stories are described there, how people have given their life for others. So I said that the dharma is yobhuta shoka harshabhyam atma shochati rishyati. So the basic principle of dharma, this is a simple principle, that you feel distressed when others are distressed, and you feel happy when others are happy. So Krishna also says that Atma Pramena Dharma, that one who understands the pains and sufferings of others by comparison to oneself. So as we feel hungry, others also feel hungry, and we feel cold, others also feel cold. So to consider this and then help, if someone is hungry, somebody is cold, does not have cloth, then to help them and make them happy. They say this is dharma. So say that those who are punya shloka, those who are great people, they have spoken this type of dharma, or they have followed this type of dharma. So I also follow this. Aho daivam danyam aho kashtam parakkai kshanbhangurai yanno puryad asvarthai marte svagyati vigrahi. So then he is talking about that those people who do not do welfare to others, and he's saying, oh, how pitiable they are. It's a matter of great suffering. That this body, which is actually meant for others only, parakya kshanbhangura, and it is temporary. So if you cannot do any welfare with this because you are attached to it, then you are lamentable. So whatever one has, one's wealth, one's relatives, one's possessions, and one's own body, then one should use them for others. So everything which is temporary can be utilized to gain permanent benefit. Yadhruvani paritajya yadhruvam shevata. One who gives up the eternal benefit of devotion, of love to God, and engages only in temporary activities, then what happens that he gets neither the eternal gain and the temporary will be lost and everyone to last only. So this is the only benefit of this human body, that although it is temporary, that we can attain permanent living. And that is by engaging in devotional activity. So here of course he is talking about doing welfare to others. At least it should be used for some good cause. Otherwise one's body, one's wealth, one's relatives, they are all temporary. So if we can understand this point, and it is not some very great philosophical point. It's not that we have to try to understand some complicated principles of Vedanta or anything. It's a simple thing. It is temporary. Everybody knows this. Body is temporary. Money is even more temporary. Relatives are also temporary. All possessions are temporary. So if we can just meditate on this temporary nature, then our life will change. But somehow we forget this. And we are always under this illusion that we are going to live permanently. And therefore we make big plans. So in Hitopdesh, in the very beginning it is said that Grihita eva kesheshu mrityuna dharma acharya ajara amarat pragyo vidyam artham chintayet. That one should practice dharma knowing that our hair are caught by death, that we are in the grip of death, we can die anytime. So we should always be very cautious of utilizing our time properly. Because this is an opportunity we have, and this opportunity is very limited. It's not eternal. We will lose this, so we make use of this opportunity we have. So therefore it says, Yando Kuryad Aswarthayam Bhaktya Swagyati Vimla. So one who does not engage in swartha and welfare activities with his wealth, etc., then he says that is a very pitiable situation. So Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Adataram Akshupti, one who is Adataram, who is not a donor, he is criticizing him. Parakyai Srigaladi Bhaksha. So he says this body is parakya, it is meant for others because it will be, if it is buried in the ground, then worms will eat it. Other people will think that it will be resurrected one day. Or it will be resurrected. You put anything in the ground, it decomposes. Except plastic. Everything else decomposes in time, and especially our body decomposes very quickly. So where is the question of body getting resurrected? So worms come and eat it. All types of worms which are taking birth and feasting on it. A body which we loved so much and took care, eaten by worms if buried. Or in India you burn it, so it becomes ashes. In some religion policies, they throw it away in the open, then vultures come and eat it. So it is parakya, it is meant for others. So it says, use it. You have facility. So now Sukadeva Goswami describes what he did after that. So he said, Evam krit vyavashito dadhyang atharvanastanu pare bhagavati brahmani atmanam samyanjaho. So having made such a decision, and what did he do? This great sage Dadhyang, the knower of Atharva Veda, then he gave up his body. And how he gave up his body? By fixing his mind on the Supreme Lord. So he fixed his mind on the Lord, and then he relinquished. He left it by his mind. So this is a great thing to do. That means he had such a control over his life airs that he could get out by his will. It's not an easy thing to do. If you want to die yourself just by meditation, how will you do? People commit suicide by some means, by hanging, by taking poison, by shooting themselves. So he just sat in meditation, fixed his mind on the Lord, and then he got out of the body. So that's why I said that he is a devotee, and he is doing it as an act of devotion. So he is going to the Lord. You can say he wants Antkalecha mameva mam smrati. Lord remembers me at the time of death, and he comes to me. Krishna said there is no doubt about it. Nasti atra samshaya. So there is no doubt that he went to the abode of the Lord. So therefore there was no problem for him. He did not feel any sad or anything, because he is absorbed in thoughts of Lord. While living in this body, he can also give it up. So there is not much commentary on these verses. Yataksha sumano buddhis tatpadrig dhavasta bandhana astitah paramam yogam nadeham bodhegatam. So he describes that how he gave up his body. Says that he controlled his senses, his life, his mind, and his intellect. And he was completely fixed on the Supreme Lord. Tattva Drik. Drik means vision, or his consciousness, his awareness was absolutely fixed on the Lord. So when one is situated like this, then death is not a problem. Although earlier he said that dying is very painful. So dying is very painful because we are attached to our body. But if we are not attached and we decide to give up, then we just leave the house. And it's like if you live in a place and you are not attached to it, then you get out, you don't feel anything. But if you are attached and you have to leave or forcibly, then you will suffer. So he said that Asthita Paramam Yogam, he became situated in the Supreme Yoga. And Supreme Yoga is the Yoga of Bhakti. That is the Supreme Yoga, the Yoga of devotion to the Lord. There is nothing higher than that. So he became situated in Bhakti Yoga, which means he was completely absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord. And then he did not feel how the body left. Deham na bhagavatam. So it was not understood whether he was leaving the body or body was leaving him. So Yogam Samadhim Gatam Swasmad Vichutam. He became situated in Samadhi. Samadhi means when you do not have any other thought. Samadhi is the last step of Ashtanga Yoga. Yama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. So So samadhi means you become absolutely devoid of any external thoughts. So he was in complete meditation. So this is the way to die. And this is of course possible if we have practiced devotion in our life. So that will not be a problem. Otherwise at the time of death there is fear, anxiety and pain and suffering. Athendro Vajram Uddamya Nirmitam Vishwakarmana Muni Shakti Virutsitto Bhagavate Visanvita. So Sukadeva Goswami does not describe anything more than that, but he immediately says that he took the bones because he was in a hurry, and he said that his wife was not there. He didn't want to be there to be seen when the wife comes and she will make a big hue and cry and even cursing. So he immediately extracted the bones from his body and quickly he ran away from there. By the time his wife came, she was found. It must be quite ghastly scene to see. Because to remove the bone means he has to cut on the skin. He has to skin it and the bones. So he went and then he went to Vishwakarma, who is the architect, mechanic, and he got a thunderbolt made from him. And then he said, Mule Shakti Virutsitto Bhagavate Sami. So now he was empowered by the strength of the Muni, the sage, and also by the prowess of the Lord. Because Lord has also promised, he said that you get this Vajra made and then I will also empower you. So although the power of Indra was taken away by Vritrasura, earlier we read that these people, they were throwing all the weapons at Vritrasura. Vritrasura, he swallowed everything. And these weapons had their potency in them. So their potency was there, but now he got his power back. So he became empowered. And so Munesh, Shakti B, there are different parts. Shakti B, Shakti B, Shakti B. He was empowered by the power of the sage and by the bones of the sage. So now he attacks Vritrasura. So one should also gauge the strength of one's enemy. If the enemy is strong, then better keep quiet. Or try to make a truce if possible. Send some gifts to the enemy. Make friendship. And if you are strong, then you attack. So now, when he has lost his power, he became weak, then he did not attack Vritrasura. Then he hid from him. So now he is coming back. So Vrito Devaganai Sarvair Gajendro Priya Shobhata Stuyamano Munigarai Trilokyam Harshaneva. So now he sat on his elephant. He had a big elephant, white color elephant. White elephant, white elephant. White elephant is a word used within this when something is not doing anything and eating a lot of money. And So this is a white elephant. Because white elephant doesn't do anything. It's a showpiece. So Indra has a white elephant. Because he has a lot of wealth. So he sat on the white elephant and he was surrounded by all the devas. So he's going around him, all the devas are walking. And now he will attack. He is the king. And Stuyamano Munigane, and all the sages they are glorifying Indra. Because the sages are also under the control or kingdom of Indra. This was a custom in Vedic culture, that the kings were the Kshatriyas and Brahmanas were under them, under their rule, and they will also glorify the king. All the king will respect them. So usually we will think that the sages should rule because they are more knowledgeable and have power and mantra, but it is the Kshatriyas who are ruling. So Indra is like a Kshatriya, he is ruling and the sages are glorifying him. Munigana is Tralokam Harshana, as if he was giving pleasure to all the three planets, because we read that all the three planets they were covered by Vritrasura. Means everything was covered by Tamoguna. So Indra is going to fight. The story of Vritrasura is given different interpretations. That it signifies clouds. Because Indra is also rain god and he has Vajra and heats and the rains come. Covering means that he covers and there is darkness. So different type of meanings. So Vritram Abhyadravat Chetum Asurani Kayutataihi Pariyastam Ojisarajan Kruddho Rudra Ivantakam. So now he attacked Vritrasura. So he ran towards Vritrasura with all his power. And just like Lord Rudra, Lord Shiva attacks death. So now with all his strength he is attacking the Asuras. And Pariyavastam Ojasa Rajan Kruddho Rudra. He was surrounded by his army. So Pariyavastam Parivritam Antikam Rudrohi Yamam Api Sankalpam Shaknoti. So what is the meaning of Lord Shiva attacking Yamaraj for death? It's not that Lord Shiva attacks him, but it simply means that Lord Shiva has the power to kill even Yamaraj. Singha Singham Ive Iti Vad Ayam Drashtam. So it's like a lion fights with another lion. That is an example. So Lord Shiva is considered as person who does Tandav Nritya to destroy everything, and Indra is also Lord of death. So he is the death for everybody. So as if they both fight with each other. So like that Vritrasura and Indra, they are going to fight. Tata Suranam Asurai Rana Paramadaruna Shritamki Narmadayam Bhakam Pratmeyugi. So after that there was a very fierce battle between the Asuras and the Suras, between the Devas and the Asuras. So this is the basic battle in the material world. Basic fight is always, wherever you go you will always find this. There are some Asuras, at present more Asuras, and there are some divine people. So divine people are fighting with the Asuras. So this now is hearing big lecture going on. So he was talking about Yamuna cleaning. So basically it is the Asuric people who have polluted Yamuna. This government is run by Asuras. They don't care, because rivers are actually the life for human beings. And they are polluting it. So that is what Asura does. Asura means selfish person who does not care for others. So they have all these big industries and ministers sitting there, they don't care that they are putting all these effluents from the industry into the river and all the sewage water going into the river. And this is the water which is actually being used for farming, for people drinking, and especially Yamuna is a holy river. So people come and take bath. So they have completely polluted it. This is what Asura do. And then there are a few divine people who are working to clean it, raising their voice. So everywhere you will find that there are some people who are in control and their interest is only how to make money, how to exploit people and make money. Big companies, big politicians. So externally they will have a nice talk and they will seem to be doing some welfare, but then they have a plan how to dupe people. More and more taxes are coming. So, in the name of so-called democracy and freedom of life and freedom of speech, basically there is no freedom. Because there are so many laws to control you and so many taxes, which means you work for them. So this is the fierce battle. So when did this happen? This happened at the beginning of Treta Yuga, in the first Chaturyuga of this month, at the bank of Narmada river. So Narmada river is in middle India, and that's where the fight occurred. This is Vavasvatmanu. This is the 27th Chaturyugi, which is running now. And this happened in the first Chaturyuga. So it's a story which happened long ago. So it's a real history. And Rudrair Vashubhir Adityair Ashvibhyam Pitri Vannidhi Marudbhir Vibhubhi Sadhyir Vishwadevair Utpatim. So these were the people who were accompanying him. There were Rudras, there are 11 Rudras, Vasus, 8 Vasus, Adityas, there are 12 Adityas. These are all Devas. And Ashvibhyam, and there are 2 Aswani Kumaras, and Pitri, there are Pitris, Sadhyas, Mani, fire, 7 types. Marudbhi, there are 49 types of airs, Marudbhi, and Ribhu, there are sages called Ribhu, Sadhyai, Vishwadeva, and Marutpati. So all these people were with Indra, ready to fight. Drishtva Vajradharam Shakram Rochamanam Svayashriya Namarishyan Asura Rajan Vitra Parasura. So when the Asuras they saw Indra, he was holding a thunderbolt in his hand and he was very effulgent with his power. Then the Asuras, who were headed by Vritrasura, they were unable to tolerate it. very angry because all this time they were very happy, enjoying, and now someone is coming to disturb them. So you try to raise a voice against some criminal people, then they become very angry at you. They try to finish you up. Right? So this is what happened to them also. So immediately they said, oh, let's finish these people. So he also gives a list of the people from the other side. Namuchi Sambaro Narva Vimurtha Rishabham Varaha Ayagriva Shankushira Viprachitirayo Mukha Puloma Vrishaparvacha Prahetir Hetir Utkalaha Date Adano Ayaksha Raksham Siju Sahasrusha. So these were some of the chief people. So both sides there are very strong people. And you can basically, if you study the character of all these people, it is described in more detail in books like Mahabharata. So then you will see that these are also type of the vrittis which exist in human beings. So there is Namuchi, Sambara, Anarva, Vimurdha, Rishabha, Ambara, Agriva. Agriva is also a demon. Agriva is also one avatar of Lord Vishnu, but also one Asura who had stolen the Vedas from Brahma. So, which means there are some Asuric people who work against knowledge. They don't want knowledge to be propagated. That is the meaning. So this vritti, if you study human beings, then among human beings also there are people who are against education. They don't want education in the society. Even in the spiritual society there are people who don't like education. You say, what is this? So that is the Hagriv mentality. Sankushira Viprachitti Rayomukha Puloma Vrishaparva Raheti Heti Utkala. These are the names. And then Dateya means the sons of Diti, one of the wife of Kashyapa. Danava are the sons of Danu. And then there are Yaksha and Rakshasas. Yakshas are the associates of Kubera. And then there are Rakshasas. So these are the people who protect wealth. So they don't want wealth somewhere. Bankers. Sahasrasha. So thousands and thousands of them. So everybody is fired up for the battle. Nice music, war music, makes you enthusiastic. So Sumali Mali Pramukha Kartaswara Parikshada Pratishidhendra Senagram Mrityorapi Durasana. So there is another some more names, Mali, and they are riding in the chariots which are made from gold. So Pratisiddhendra Senagram Mrityorapi Durasana. So they came and they are trying to stop the army of Indra. And they are ready to fight even death. Or rather, say Mrityorapi Durasana. So the Indrasena is compared like death. Because the power of Indra was also very strong. It was not easy. They could fight with him. So they came and they blocked his army. So Abhyargyan Asambhanta Singhanadena Durmada Gadabhi Paridhirmani Prasanudgar Tomare. Now the battle begins. So they are making sounds. Abhyargyan Asambhanta Singhanadena. So roaring like lions. Durmada means very powerful or very proud, and Asambhanta fearless. So then they ran towards the army of the Devatas, ready to kill them. So they were attacking them with clubs, with arrows, with sword, and various types of weapons. So then they attack. So I will stop here today. Tomorrow I will read more. Just a description of the battle now. And how they will kill the person. So stop here with any questions.
In the beginning of the class, there was this statement of the body giving up the self and the self giving up the body. So, what does this actually mean, the self giving up the body? Mentally, we do it mentally, physically, at the time of death, but it also happens all the time. The body changes physically as well. So, does it need to be aware of this all the time, of this, the self giving up the body and the body giving up the self? Does that mean self-realization?
Yeah, because he knows this once. Of course, now when we don't see the distinction, then there is no question of one giving up the other. It's only when you know the distinction, when you have the viveka, this discrimination, then you can see this happening. Otherwise, we have to deliberate, and as long as you deliberate, then you understand, and you forget. But if you have realized, then it is in your awareness all the time. You know that I am separate. It's like when you sit in the car, you know that you are not the car. So that you have to do something extra to know that.
So there is a natural state of detachment.
Yes.
You also spoke about the selflessness of the trees, which are always given as an example for selflessness. So the trees have no other choice than to be selfless, right?
Right.
But we do have a choice. So why are the trees so much glorified? Because they don't have any other choice.
They are just glorified so that you can learn from them. Although they don't have choice, that is a fact. But to educate you that they are doing it without choice and you do it with choice, that is your glory. Otherwise, you don't have an example of somebody doing some work selflessly.
So only if the selflessness is done with a choice, a conscious choice, then it creates punya. The tree doesn't get any punya from it.
Unless it is used in the service of God, then they get benefit.
And one more question is that suffering of an attached person at the time of death, is it over when the Atma has finally left the death, or do we carry that suffering with us?
It's over.
It's over when the Atma is gone.
Well, then there may be more suffering if you are under the Yamdutas.
But that must be creating a samskara in the chitta. So we must have
there is fear of death again in the next life.
So that's
what the reason for fear of death, because really we don't die. Everybody has this fear because this comes from the past. If you see the war, we also have fear of death. It comes from the past.
Yeah, but since we also experience that we don't really die, why